Good morning, Darrell. How are you? Did we wake you up this morning?
No, gentlemen, doing very well today.
It sounds like we woke you up, Darrell. Did Josh wake you up? I told him not to wake you up.
Yeah, well, the election coverage a little bit last night kind of did me in a little bit, but today's a new day.
All right. What's going on at Auburn? We're going to fire 6 and extend 1. I don't know any of these guys they fired, but I'm sure some of them may have bad feelings now. And that's, I guess, normal. Alan Green comes in. He takes some time to kind of evaluate his department, evaluate his coaches. He's decided that the Auburn athletic department would be better without 6 of these people. What's going on there with that, Darrell?
Well, to really start it off, Green comes in, does a big extension of Bruce Pearl, and then makes, I guess more so than anything, cleans up the department, especially after the softball quote-unquote scandal that a lot of people like to tab with it. I mean, from at least reports, we don't know 100% what all 6 of these individuals were doing. I mean, if you look at the titles, a chief communication officer was let go, plus a senior associate of an athletic director as well. Senior women's administrator was gone, and chief revenue officer. So, Alan Green coming in and making it a staple, but gotta feel good if you're an Auburn fan to see hopefully the last of this softball mess kind of go out the door as Green. That's the big departure of these guys.
Yeah.
How much money did these 6 guys save? How much money did Auburn save from these 6 guys?
Haven't seen a report on the actual money that they did save. I mean, it's pretty limited at this point.
I mean, they're going to replace these people, right? They're not just firing. They're not eliminating the positions.
They're not going to replace all 6 of them.
Oh, they're not?
Oh. Yeah, at least at this point, I mean, I don't know too many people that's really talked to Green and try to ask numbers, per se, on this one.
Well, you come in, everybody likes you. Everybody's trying to get on your good side. Then this happens. There are going to be some people walk out the door, Darrell, to be quite honest, and they're looking at it going, wait a minute, I'm getting let go. I've been an Auburn person. I've given my blood, sweat, and you're going to keep this guy, Bruce Pearl, and they probably know some inside information on some things. Could you anticipate maybe an issue there with one of these people leaving that are disgruntled?
I mean, you never know when someone gets walked out the door exactly they're going to say to who and what type of media pub they're going to get. I mean, I can promise you that if they came to us and wanted to do something, let's just say one was from the Montgomery area or something, I mean, of course, you'd probably sit back and listen, but probably just some upset people. I mean, Green's not going to come in and fire these individuals if he didn't have a real solid foundation to back up the firing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know he feels that, but usually when you get fired, you don't feel the same way as what you just described. It depends on which end you're standing on. Bruce Pearl, I guess, is that a vote of confidence? And they talk about the 2 assistants, Stephen Pearl, and the other guys. The guy from Lee Scott that's over there, Chad Pruitt. Their contracts are up. Does this mean that these guys are going to be okay? Why is this in the athletic director's hands, and why is Bruce Pearl not deciding whether these guys are extended or not?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good question. Chad Pruitt, one of the finer coaches within the state in the AISA, especially when he came over, I think he's brought a lot of help, just kind of, out on recruiting wells, as well as Stephen Pearl just out at Auburn. But, I think a decision like this, I think the Auburn Athletic Department, Alan Green wanted to go ahead and get something going, solidified with Pearl with the contract extension. If I had a guess, I'd say the next week or so. I wouldn't be surprised by this time next week if we hear something about trying to extend those contracts, or maybe possibly going in a different direction. You know, I really think at this point on this Wednesday morning, I think within the next week or so, we'll probably see what's going to happen with those two assistant coaches. I mean, especially Pearl getting an extension. I think they just wanted to go forward, make sure that they had this going before anything else was taken care of. So I think within the next week or so, we'll probably get reports out of the athletic department about what's going to happen with those two coaches.
That.
Who has he interviewed, or has he interviewed people for assistant coaching jobs at Auburn?
Yeah, that's another solid question. Haven't heard much on that. Again, I mean, with Alan Green coming in, and you know, the past month and a half, the big question is what's going to happen with Bruce Pearl. Is he going to get extended? Is he even going to be the coach throughout the contract? I mean, there's been so many questions, especially through this FBI investigation. I think the whole, you know, ideology of, hey, you know, we want Pearl to stay, but let's just take our time with it. I think Green was smart coming in and not making incredibly too many decisions too fast. Just kind of let a few situations play out. Haven't heard much about if they've interviewed anybody else yet. I mean, at least on that side of the athletic department, it's been kind of quiet for the past couple of weeks until the recent, you know, news about Pearl's contract extension. I mean, it's been something that I've seen Alan Green twice out since we've been talking about what's going to happen with Pearl, and you know, his answer to me and to a lot of other guys that cover Auburn throughout the state is that we're just taking our time, and you know, we have full confidence in Bruce, but not too sure if they've gone out and actually sought to interview anyone else. I mean, I think Pruitt's had a pretty good standing, at least with Auburn. He's got a great standing on the central part of the state too. And then Stephen, of course, has a pretty good standing amongst everyone. So haven't heard too much on that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they keep Pruitt on the road. Obviously, he bumped up when Person was let go. Baseball, you got Jay Jacobs now over at Florida. Auburn's taking on Florida this weekend. Will it be weird to see Jay Jacobs over there with a Florida shirt on? But kind of break down this Auburn Florida baseball matchup for us.
Yeah, guys, Auburn baseball, I mean, just absolutely put on some runs in the Raleigh Regional this past weekend. Northeastern, you went 13-4. I mean, I think everybody expected Auburn to beat Northeastern, especially how they played earlier in the season against them. And then Army, you blow them out 12-1. Casey Mize looked incredible in that game. And then you play North Carolina State, and you hang up another 15 runs. So Auburn's looking pretty solid, at least offensively. Tanner Burns, Casey Mize, Greenhill out of the bullpen. You know, Auburn's pitching staff really at this point in the year has finally looked like it's come together. And, of course, it helps if you're scoring over 10 runs per game. So I think heading into this Florida Super Regional, I mean, it's the first time since Auburn has made a Super Regional back in 1999, which is the first year they started doing them. So, I mean, you know, the Auburn fan base is really excited to see what Butch Thompson has done in the past couple years, and especially in terms of recruiting, getting these guys there. I mean, when Butch came in, he was pretty lucky to have a Keegan Thompson and a Casey Mize to kind of solidify and really build, especially recruits coming in. You get Tanner Burns, true freshman, looks really good. Greenhill, I mean, guys like that, Mitchell out there as well, is pitching really, really well. So heading this one against Florida, I mean, you know, at least a couple nights ago, Florida against FAU loses their first game, so they're pushed to what if, and then the Bats just came along and gets Florida. I mean, they're the top team in the country for a reason. So, and then also you throw in the wrench, guys, and Jay Jacobs takes a spot over in the Florida Athletic Department, and from at least what they're reporting about his responsibilities, just oversight of communications, marketing, the ticketing, in the Gator Vision, which is the student-ran television department on campus for athletics. I mean, it's going to be a fun weekend. Seeing where Casey Mize pitches, if they're going to throw him out there, if Florida throws Singer out there, it's going to be a top 2 pitching duel in the country. If that does happen, if Auburn decides to play a little safe, go with Tanner Burns, save Casey for a Sunday game. It should be a fun super regional. You know, if Auburn's offense and the bats could come alive, I mean, especially this past regional, that's what's going to be the key for Auburn. Stay consistently offensively. I mean, I think Auburn throughout the season scored a lot of runs, but it hasn't been timely runs. I mean, they haven't hit timely RBIs anywhere. I mean, if you look at the SEC tournament, yeah, they had a walk-off. That was really, really nice. But a lot of the portions of the game, a lot of runners left in scoring position, a lot of them stranded on second base. So Auburn's, I guess you could call it clutch hitting, has been absent here and there throughout the season. But pretty good run through Raleigh. That was nice just to go ahead and get that, especially what happened the year before out in Tallahassee against Florida State.
You have to take it a little bit that Auburn got a pretty good draw, and not taking anything away from them, but they got a very good draw. And when they got the draw, the seedings, it was a little bit better than normal, I think.
Yeah, well, I think especially if you look in years past from when Auburn's got regionals. I mean, last year's regional against Florida State was, I guess you could say way more difficult if you look at some of the teams. That was definitely in it. I think this year, if you look at it, the winner of this one's going to have to play most likely Florida. So, I mean, do you call that consolation prize? I mean, it's nice to get through the regional, but now you're going to have to take on an offense that's just absolutely incredible. Jonathan Indian leads it. Incredible bat out there, and then just tons of really good talent on the rubber for Florida. So it's definitely going to test Auburn. If Auburn can win this super regional, I mean, it's going to look very good for them going into the College World Series, but it's going to be incredibly difficult this weekend.
Yeah, you got several SEC teams left. You got South Carolina traveling to Arkansas. I think Vanderbilt's at home. So there'll be, I think, 3 representatives will make the College World Series. Darrell, thanks for everything. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, guys, you can just find me on Twitter, Facebook. It's just at Darrell Puckett. Also, you can go to alabamanews.net. Just search Darrell Puckett Sports Department as well to find out everything we got going on down here in Montgomery, Central Alabama.
Thanks, Darrell.
Thanks, Darrell.
Thanks, Vince. Y'all be good.